Bang on 7:30 this Wednesday. It's Sharon with you all the way through until 10. We'd love to hear from you. 0879 180 180. You can WhatsApp us, you can text us on that. Please don't call us because the phone might go off in studio. I've just brought it in today for the first time. Didn't think that one through again, did I, Owen?
No, and we need to keep our mouths shut before we figure out if it's an Android or an Apple phone, and we don't want to find out whether or not it's going to be Hey Google or Hey Siri. Do something.
Yeah, I've just forgotten I remember the passcode. That's good. There you go. So you can now. I'm actually I literally have it here in front of me. It's 7:31 this morning here on OTB AM, brought to you by Gillette. Good morning. Start with Gillette. Put your best face forward with their new and improved razors. Nathan Murphy is with us this morning. Nathan, good morning to you. How are you?
Morning, lads.
There's there's two places we can start: to hell or to Connacht. It's Mayo or Messi in the London Independent. It's a match made in hell, as the headline on Miguel Delaney's piece for football. For Leo Messi joining for $1 million a week. It's the first official $1 million a week gross weekly pay. Obviously Messi has earned this money and more in previous seasons, but it's, I think, the first time in recorded history that somebody has been paid by their club $1 million a week to play football. And you wonder what the outcome of this is going to be. Does everybody sit and watch on their couch eating popcorn and drinking beer, and it'll be, I don't know, Pepsi and Heineken during the Champions League, and go, this is brilliant for football and we're getting to see the best players play together and this is actually the dream of the Champions League? Or do we always remember that, you know, this is a nation state using football as a means to be a more important diplomatic power in the world?
I think both will happen. I think more and more people will want to see what Paris Saint-Germain are doing this season in Liga and in the Champions League. I see it already in this house. I had an 8-year-old who got lucky and spent his birthday money on a Paris Saint-Germain jersey last week and is like a pig in shit for the last few days that he has one, because I'd imagine it's going to become the most sought after jersey on the planet now that Lionel Messi. And the only questions I've been getting is, where can I watch Paris Saint-Germain this season? And everyone wants to see what happens with Messi, but is there anything he can do at Paris Saint-Germain that adds to his legacy? Does winning a Champions League with this Paris Saint-Germain add to his legacy, that his arrival finally saw them make that breakthrough? I don't think so.
I actually disagree with that. I think that, I think that if Lionel Messi wins more Champions Leagues, it adds to Lionel Messi's individual personal lustre. You're saying it's going to be empty, right? But here's a team who hasn't been able to do it, and then if he arrives and he is the catalyst for that, him and the 6 other players that they have signed this year, actually gets them over the line, then you can't take that away from Messi. It's like it's like a late career dream team that he is part of, that actually maybe he plays an extra couple of seasons and he's no longer the star turn, but maybe he helps Mbappe to get better. I don't know. I think that, assuming that all success is empty because the team is so good isn't accurate just yet. Because say they go up against Chelsea in a 2-legged semi-final, and Chelsea are the best team in the world on paper at that moment in terms of how they're playing, and Messi scores a hat-trick. That will enhance his legacy, I think.
Quite possibly. But what I'm saying is, with the talent that they have, they need to be winning the Champions League. If you have a front three, and if they all stay fit, of Messi, Neymar and Mbappe, and all those other players that they have added in, the experience of Ramos, Donnarumma in goal, Gini Wijnaldum, added to a squad that was very close to winning the Champions League already in the last couple of seasons. I think rightly we should expect the Paris Saint-Germain win the Champions League this season. And I've no doubt if they don't, Mauricio Pochettino will probably pay for it with his job. Another Champions League for Messi will be a nice add-on, but I don't think it's necessarily going to massively change his legacy. I don't think him arriving there is going to massively change Paris Saint-Germain. They were already winning an awful lot. I know they failed massively last season in Liga, and the fact that Lille managed to win that, and that they didn't manage to win the Champions League. But I don't know, is it particularly exciting to see what he does? Are you looking, if he scores 40 goals in Liga, thinking, wow? I think you're almost expecting him to go and do that.
Yeah, it'd be very, very interesting to, the one thing is that if Messi does win a Champions League with 2 different clubs, he'll have matched Ronaldo's ability to win a Champions League with 2 different clubs, and obviously a host of other players as well. That's one little wrinkle that you might throw in there, but I kind of agree with that. I think that it's the minimum expectation to win everything, and that there will be maybe kind of a private sort of I'm happy for Lionel Messi that he's got a smile on his face rather than the crying Lionel Messi that we saw at the start of the season. I think people might feel happy for him as an individual, maybe, if he wins the Champions League, but I don't think anybody's going to be impressed. It's like, as you say, it is the minimum expectation. I do think that there were a number of different things that could go wrong in a Champions League season, and against some of the managers and the quality around the pitch that they're going to come up against over the course of the season. Like, obviously, we're not going to get any indication of the answer to this question until March, but you do feel that your example there of Chelsea, I think Chelsea last season would give a team with 3 luxuriously talented attackers a good run for their money, and I think they might actually meet a banana skin or 2 on the way to the Champions League. I don't think it's a guarantee whatsoever that they win it, but if they don't win it, it's going to be like, wow, you really underachieved this season.
Have we ever appreciated or wanted a sort of dream team, Harlem Globetrotters style football team? Because that's what Paris Saint-Germain could do, particularly domestically this season, that they could just show off. Like, they could go and win games 6-7-0, they could play keep ball, they could pull out all the tricks. Like, in football, that's frowned upon. That has always been frowned upon. Even when Neymar has tried it with teams over the last few years, when there's a little bit of showing off, we all go, it's not really in the spirit of the game. Or actually, could these transform that and play the game in a manner that we have never seen before, where they're just taking the piss constantly?
It's an interesting one. Like, I would say, in what sport is it tolerated? Like, obviously, I mean, the Globetrotters is an exhibition sort of setup, and I'm sure that if they went on an exhibition tour of the world without anything really on the line, they could do that.
They will, don't worry.
They probably will.
As soon as COVID's over, it's like, get on that plane and go around the world. And maybe PSG don't need to make that money, but they at least need to pretend to be making that money, I suppose, to balance the books a little bit.
Yeah, you would expect next summer, and well, part of the long-term plan, I'm sure, might be that getting Paris Saint-Germain out of Paris a couple of times a season might benefit everybody in Liga. So, yeah, I think we'll see a lot of Paris Saint-Germain around the world. Maybe
somewhere in the Gulf, perhaps, if only they had some well-established
new
links.
Stadiums that they were looking to test out for the first time.
So who can stop them? And actually now, is the whole world against them? Is that the other side of this? The bit where you're like, I hope Messi wins. Does that last much beyond, I don't know, a couple of months?
I think it does, doesn't it?
I'm not sure.
Isn't there such love for Messi that people want him to be a success wherever he goes? You bought the most beloved footballer.
Yes, yeah, and everybody wants him to win the World Cup before he retires. I think, maybe not everybody, but the vast majority of the planet wanted him up to this point to win the World Cup before he retires. Maybe, I don't know if that changes now. I'm not sure. Like, things change pretty quickly. You know, the protection that he would have had in Barcelona from the whole Catalan Republic, that's gone. Like, or it will fall away pretty quickly, although the tearful exit will help that. Like, how much more information comes out about his tax stuff that makes it look like, you know, actually this isn't the whiter than white business that we thought it was, the global empire that was and that has become the brand Messi. I don't know, I'm just interested to see exactly how that relationship with the public persists, and if he plays brilliantly then no one cares. The other couple of parts about this, so while Neymar has been absolutely thrilled, and Mbappe obviously changed his Twitter profile to a picture of Maradona yesterday, is Mbappe really that happy about this? Is it definitely a win-win-win for the brand Mbappe, particularly after what we've just seen at the Euros, where pre-tournament we were hearing there are issues with him, there are issues with his work rate, there are issues with his attitude, there are issues generally with his form at the moment. Is it nailed on that this triumvirate, who are definitely not going to be gegenpressing, there's not going to be any heavy metal football coming from them, and that's what Pochettino kind of wants a little bit, is it guaranteed that this is going to be in European football a massive success, or is there a possibility they get beaten 7-2 over 2 legs in a quarter-final?
Yeah, poor Gini Wijnaldum is going to have his work cut out from him in that Paris Saint-Germain midfield. I think the fact at Messi's age probably makes it that little bit easier for Mbappe, that you get to play with the greatest player of all time for a couple of years. You get to be part of this once-in-a-generation team, and you can, well, not park your ego, but that there will be enough to go around for everybody. Neymar clearly desperately wanted Messi to come to Paris Saint-Germain. So right now, it doesn't feel like that's going to be an issue. You're right. Like come March, like Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea, even United will probably all have been in a tough old title race, will have played many, many big games this season, will have set up defensively at times, will have set up tactically in a way that they had to, whereas Paris Saint-Germain, domestically, you expect they're going to play whatever way they want, whenever they want. So is there a sudden collision between the two styles that Paris Saint-Germain just aren't ready for? I just can't see how, while any of those teams could beat them, I don't see how any of them can beat them well, how you can keep Neymar, Messi and Mbappe, if they're all fit, quiet over the course of 2 games, that they don't go, that they, in all likelihood, don't beat those sides, but don't go very close to beating those sides.
It's like obviously the first thing that comes to mind when you look at the 3 of them is that this is the best trio of all time that we've ever seen in football. But on a practical level, is that actually the truth? Is it actually better than Messi, Neymar and Suarez? Like, I mean, is the lack of a number 9, which we've seen across European football as a trend, is that something that's actually going to be a little bit of an issue here? And I'm not talking about the work rate, I'm talking about just actually having a number 9 in there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what way they line up. Do you play Mbappe as your number 9 and you just try and see? The problem they're going to have is you're never going to be able to play in the counter-attack now when you're Paris Saint-Germain to use Mbappe's plays, because nobody is going to come out and try and attack Paris Saint-Germain domestically anyways. And you're right, like you think of that team of 2015 that won the Champions League. Messi is far closer his peak right then. Yeah. Luis Suarez is arguably at his peak right then. Neymar is probably much of a muchness right now. It just feels there's a bit more excitement about it now because, Messi in a new jersey, maybe playing with something still to prove himself.
Maybe.
That he wants to go and do this. But yeah, how they line up, like, Jesus, what an opportunity for Mauricio Pochettino, because he will somehow manage to take credit for this if it all goes well. If it doesn't, God help him. I'm interested to see how they do line up. Do they, is it a 2 up front and 1 behind, or 2 number 10s and Mbappe is the number 9? Are you playing Messi out on the right hand side? Are you playing Messi in a slightly deeper role? Is he just a creator?
There's a bit of a sub-teacher vibe to Pochettino this season, isn't there? Like, and I would say that would be the case with pretty much any manager in the world right now, with the exception of Pep, perhaps, with this bunch. Like, as you say, the ridiculous work rate that Pochettino would have expected from his Tottenham players, which led to people leaving the club, to people being shown the cold shoulder quite a bit over the course of his few years there. That just cannot happen with this group of players, because you will be applying one law to Messi and you will be applying a different law to the rest of the team. But maybe that's fine. Maybe that's how you manage Lionel Messi. Yeah,
and Pochettino, isn't an egomaniac in the way that Pep Guardiola is. Like, you read the diary of his season he did with Guillaume Baguette was fascinating about the amount of self-doubt that he had around himself at times and what he was doing, and even how he looked. It was one of the things that stood out most, of constantly going on a sort of crash diet and bringing all his coaching team with him. And, then they'd look at themselves on TV and they'd look good, and maybe they'd, decide we can't start having a few glasses of wine after every win again. And then, no, we're all going on this crash diet. That this isn't a Pep Guardiola type figure who, is almost more confident and the alpha male even in the room with those 3 personalities. I'm not sure that's Mauricio Pochettino. Now, maybe he has that Argentinian connection with Lionel Messi and there's some deep lying respect. But like we saw at Barcelona, like Messi wants to play, and Messi will want to play every single week. If you're trying to have that conversation of, well, actually the best thing for us now, Lionel, is if you sit out this game this week against Strasbourg.
But I think
he's like, no, there's 4 goals there for me.
Well, I think Messi's going to be happy enough to prolong his career when he's getting paid the $1 million a week that they're going to pay him, because there's an option for a 3rd season on this, as opposed to heading off to Inter Miami or a team that doesn't exist yet in Las Vegas. I think the longer he can postpone that, the better for him and for his legacy and for everybody in football, really. All right, so that's the story with that.